Hi, this is Dr. Alexis Samaniego with Davenport and Poinciana Chiropractic and Injury Centers. And today I want to talk with you about healing sports injuries, okay? Hopefully, a lot of you guys are doing exercise, right? What we're always trying to do is get people's pain to go away so that they can do more exercise, right? If you're doing exercise, then you're basically an athlete. You might not be the higher level athlete, you might not be an Olympic level athlete, but if you're walking, if you're lifting weights, if you're running, if you're doing any sort of athletic sports, any sort of exercise, then you're an athlete on your level, okay? Now, as an athlete, especially as an adult athlete, we're all going to come across little injuries, okay? Little nagging injuries. We've talked here about knee pain in the past. We've talked about different injuries, that type of thing. But what I want to talk with you about today is just generally, if you get a sports injury, the process that is going to happen in order to rehabilitate you from that sports injury, okay? And one of my patients recently came in. She's a big pickleball player, which for those of you guys that don't know, it's basically like a tennis game. And she hurt both of her calves, right? So the bottom of her legs were hurting in both cases. And so it made me think, what is the process of taking someone from the moment of injury to I'm better and I'm able to play again, right? And so we're just going to outline it so that you can have a baseline understanding of, I hurt this, it's going to take this long to fix, and I should be doing these things in order to fix it, okay? So healing sports injuries. Now, first of all, I want you to know that a soft tissue injury, a muscle injury, is going to take about 4 to 6 weeks, according to the research, to heal, right? So 4 to 6 weeks is the timetable that you're going to be looking at by the time from when you injure yourself to when you're going to be theoretically 100% better, okay? Now, in this 4 to 6 weeks, there's a couple things that are going to be really important. The first thing that's really important is going to be rest, okay? So if you hurt something, give it a chance to heal. We've talked about sleep before here in our videos. Sleeping is an excellent way. It is the best way to recuperate and rejuvenate your body, right? So resting, sleeping, that type of stuff is going to be really, really healthy, right? So if you hurt your leg, don't stay awake all night watching TV with your leg up. You know, that's not great. Go to sleep. Make sure you're getting sleep. Take naps, that type of stuff. Stay off your leg. Get some sleep, okay? Resting. The other thing is movement. So let's say, again, you hurt your leg, right? You hurt your calves. Unless your leg is broken or you really tore something completely, you can't put any weight on your leg, what I want you to do is move, right? So let's say you're talking about a leg injury. Go for walks, okay? Walking and movement and that type of thing, you know, if it's your shoulder, you know, move your shoulder, that type of thing, is going to attract fresh blood and circulation to the injured area. The more blood that you can get to that area, the quicker the healing process is going to happen, because blood is going to bring nutrients and it's going to take away old junky metabolites and different things. It's going to basically bring soldiers to help rebuild your injured area, and it's going to take away the tired soldiers from the battlefield, right? So the more blood and circulation you can get into an injured area, the faster you're going to get better, okay? So movement is the best way to do that. Now, let's say you hurt your shin or your calves and you hurt your ankle and you can't walk for more than 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, it starts to hurt, okay? Well, don't walk more than 10 minutes then. At the 10-minute mark, stop walking, wait half an hour, whatever it is, and then walk again for 10 minutes. And then wait, and then walk again for 10 minutes. And then wait, and then walk again for 10 minutes. It's more about working in your pain-free range of motion. Movement is about moving as much as you can in your pain-free range of motion. Okay, so if you can turn your head, let's say you hurt your neck, and you can turn your head like this, that's fine, but the moment you turn your head all the way, that starts to hurt, well then move your head just in here as much as you can in order to just get that movement, that blood flow, all that stuff. And what you'll find is over time you'll be able to move more and more until eventually you can turn your head 100%, right? So resting is going to be important, then movement is going to be important. The next thing that's really important is heat. The old adage used to be that you put ice on injuries. Well, that's not necessarily so positive. Because remember, your blood is going to bring the building blocks and the soldiers that are going to rebuild your injured area, right? So if you bring heat, if you put heat on the area, that's going to attract fresh blood to the area. And that's what you want. You want fresh blood coming in, you want old blood going out. So hot packs, especially moist heat, saunas, steam rooms, whirlpools, hot pack that's like a liquid hot pack, like the ones we use here in the office, these are all going to attract fresh blood to the area, okay? And so heat is going to be a great part of your healing process, right? Now, you don't want to use heat or ice for that matter for more than about 20 minutes at a time in any area. So if it's on your calves, for example, put a hot pack on, make sure you put a towel or a t-shirt or something in between your skin and the hot pack. Don't just put it right on yourself. Don't burn yourself, obviously. But put it on for about 20 minutes, take it off, let it stay off for 20 minutes, half an hour, move around. You can put ice on it in that time. And then put the heat on again, 20 minutes. And then take it off for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Go for a walk, all that stuff. Put the heat on again. You can do that as often as you like. It's not going to be negative for you. Just make sure you don't use it for too long, because if you use the heat for too long, that's going to bring too much inflammation, and then that's going to create its own problem. Okay. The next thing is chiropractic care. If you want to really be serious about it, there's different techniques we can use. For example, the Graston technique, the massaging techniques that we use, the active release technique, in some cases adjustments, all the different things that we've talked about in our chiropractic treatment videos could be some excellent ways to help you speed up your healing process and turn it into 4 weeks instead of 6 weeks in your recovery in some cases. Okay, maybe even less depending on how much or how little you injured yourself. The other thing is self-massage. So if you give me 1 second. We've talked about foam rollers, right? This is a foam roller. We've talked about foam rolling on our videos. We've talked about just massaging yourself with your hand, massaging yourself with tennis balls, with lacrosse balls, different things. But basically, self-massage is going to do a couple things. First of all, it's free because you're doing it to yourself, right? Second of all, it's going to help break up any adhesions, any knots in your muscles, any spasms. It's also going to attract fresh blood. It's going to do a lot of really positive things in getting you more mobile and able to get back into your exercise, into your sport, right? The other thing is that when you're massaging yourself, you know how much pressure you can take. So for example, if I'm massaging you, let's say, and I'm just doing it too hard, that's not going to be positive because you're going to be tense and all sorts of different things. But if you're massaging yourself, you know how much pressure you can take without it hurting you, right? So self-massage is an excellent way to basically help yourself in the healing process. And look at our videos on foam rolling and all that other stuff for some more direct instruction on how to do self-massage. Now, the last stage is going to be re-strengthening, okay? The re-strengthening and the movement are kind of similar. So for example, in this pickleball situation, or in a tennis situation, let's say, what are you going to do in tennis, right? Whatever sport it is that you're playing, what are you going to do in that sport? In tennis and pickleball, you're going to do a lot of lateral movement. You're going to do quick sprinting and stopping and turning and stuff like that. So if your calves are hurt, don't go from resting and just recuperating to, basically just walking to all of a sudden doing a game of pickleball, or even worse, a pickleball tournament or a tennis tournament, right? You don't want to do that because it's going to go from 0 to 100 all at once. What you want to do is, as you're feeling better, as you're feeling stronger, maybe in week 3, maybe in week 4, you start to slightly, take a quick little jog and stop and see how that is. Do some lateral movement and stop and see how that is. Do 10, 15 minutes of work and then stop. And then again the next day, do 10, 15 minutes of work and then stop, right? So that you're slowly rebuilding your strength. And, the second week, maybe you're going to do 20 minutes or 30 minutes until, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from then, you're strong enough to actually play pickleball. So that if you have to sprint in a moment, you can do it without re-injuring yourself, right? Because that's silly. One of the things that happens with a lot of athletes is they don't give themselves enough time to recuperate completely from the injury. And so they just keep re-injuring themselves all the time, right? If you are an athlete that has, let's say you're a runner and you have a race in 2 weeks, or you have a match of some kind in 2 weeks, well, you might have to fight through the injury, right? But if you don't have something coming up really soon that you can't stop training, the best thing you can do for yourself is to stop training for a while, right? Take 4 to 6 weeks, take a month off, do all these different things to get yourself back to the point where you can start building your strength up again and then compete in your sport. Even if your sport is just exercise for yourself, make sure that you're not re-injuring yourself all the time, because that's going to be negative for your body in general. You're not going to be able to train as hard as you want, and you're always going to be in pain. You're just not going to get the positive benefit that you want to get from exercise. You're not exercising because you're not exercising for no reason. You're exercising because you want something from the exercise. You want to receive a positive benefit. And so if you keep injuring yourself, you're going to lessen your ability to receive that positive benefit. And so that's not what we want to do. We actually want to get the positive benefit. So again, to heal a sports injury, remember, it's going to take you about 4 to 6 weeks. That's just what the research shows. That's what the human body does. The best thing you can do is rest, right? So a lot of sleep, taking naps, stuff like that is going to be really healthy. Also movement, so going for walks, swimming, kind of just moving the joint around. If it's your wrist, let's say, just moving the joint around as much as you can is going to be excellent for blood flow and circulation. Putting heat is going to also be excellent for blood flow and circulation. If you need to talk to a doctor, come on over. We can do Graston, we can do adjustments, we can do different things about it. So chiropractic care. Self-massaging at your own house, using the foam roller, using tennis balls, using different things, using your own hands, whatever it is you need to do. And then re-strengthening is a really important part of this process. Getting back to the level of strength to where you were before you injured yourself is going to be really important before you start actually going into your sport full speed, or trying to lift as much as you used to lift, or whatever it is like that, because it's just, you're going to re-injure yourself if you're not ready to get into that type of competition. So anyway, this is our quick information on healing sports injuries. I'm Dr. Alexis Samaniego from Davenport and Poinciana Chiropractic and Injury Centers. Hopefully you learned something today. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us and visit our website at www.yourfloridachiropractor.com. Good talking with you. See you later.